And we are back, and it must be said that this is episode 50 of the Vacuous Perspective. And Nate, 50.
Oh, it's huge. It's massive. It's a half century. We're raising the bat.
Raising the bat. I didn't even think about that, raising the bat.
We've done 50 episodes and I still haven't calibrated my face. Hold on.
Oh.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I had like a weird sort of constant pug frown on, so I thought I should rectify
Recalibrate.
that. Have you learned anything over the last 50 episodes?
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah. Do you reckon we're better for it? Are we smarter? Have we?
Oh, definitely not. You know, the fact that we spend time on this podcast is valuable research time that could be spent actually looking into the things that we do talk about, because a lot of the time, as the name suggests, we don't have all the details most of the time.
Rarely. But we do raise issues, don't we?
Do we?
Do we raise them? We raise them.
Oh, we raise them with each other.
Yeah. They're out there for other people to absorb, analyze, answer.
Yeah, and if you've got thoughts, chuck a comment in or send us an email, vacuousperspective@mail.com. And it does bring me to the first order of business today, which is emails.
You are kidding me.
Got another email.
Oh, shit. What is it?
Okay. Let me have a look. I'm just
subject
loading it up
line.
now.
Start with the subject line.
Subject. You took me back in time.
Oh, good. Yes. Okay. That's nice.
It's from Dan again. Dan's emailed back into the podcast. Emailed last week or the week before.
Fantastic.
Emailing again.
Number one fan material now.
Number one fan. All right, the email. Hello. Love the pod. Long-time listener, second-time emailer. I was working on Wednesday night listening to this week's episode and a familiar name was said, which caught me by surprise. I couldn't figure out why it hit me so hard, but then Nate took me back in time and reminded me of 20 years ago eating butter chicken in Hepburn Heights, a little suburb in the Padbury-Duncraig area. Koh-i-Noor, which is that the diamond?
Yeah, it is. I didn't know that until last week. It is the Diamond, but it's a restaurant. First and foremost, it's a restaurant. Yeah,
it's a restaurant. It's a diamond. It's a good restaurant.
Fantastic. All-you-can-eat buffet.
The email goes on. This restaurant meant a lot to me as a young teenager, as it was paired with my first real experience of LAN gaming, thanks to a place called DNA. Geez, a lot of plugs. It was a little LAN center situated about 50 meters away from the front door of Koh-i-Noor Indian restaurant, which fueled me for many hours playing Battlefield, Vietnam, and Counter-Strike. Oh. My question to Nate is, did you ever go there to play games? Is there a chance we gamed together?
Unfortunately not.
Are you aware of this place called DNA?
I had no idea. I didn't know what else is in that complex. No.
You had no idea that there was a LAN gaming center where a bunch of people were nerding out, playing some Counter-Strike, playing some Battlefield Vietnam, and probably some StarCraft.
You had no idea. I missed out. I had no idea.
You were gaming on the Nintendo 64 probably at the time.
Oh, I was lame. I've always been lame. Still am lame. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had a console. Every now and then I had a console.
As a young teenager, let's assume he's a similar age and say you're a young teenager. Were you still gaming in your young teens? What's the jam there? When did you stop?
Oh, probably when I was always gaming a little bit. I loved a bit of Bond, a bit 007, GoldenEye.
Perfect Dark. But how long could you be still playing the Nintendo 64 given that all this other cool shit was out? I mean, I know it's a console. It's a bit of a timeless console. It's a bit of a shit controller.
There was a period of time when I was at uni where I'd procrastinate by playing early versions of Age of Empires.
Okay, on your computer?
Yeah, it wasn't a fancy computer. It was just like a whatever one.
Yep. Presumably not for playing Age of Empires specifically, but this is what it turned into, a bit of an
That's
Age
what
of
it turned.
Empires
Yeah,
box.
so I was playing. I liked some things, and then I wasn't big. That wasn't my scene. And then I got into Call of Duty World at War, and I just had to get an Xbox 360.
Yep, you got exposed to it, and then boom, you had to become one of the nerds.
Yes. And that was when you started playing online with friends and stuff. So actually you started becoming social. What I didn't like about gaming is I'd sometimes play Age of Empires in my room when I'm supposed to be studying or doing something else.
Right.
And it just felt like it was unrewarding. It's like in the moment, yeah, you build up a big army, you roll them. It's satisfying, but it's not fulfilling.
Yeah. You needed progression. Because at the end of the game, it just goes win or defeat, and you just go, all right, do I want to play another one or not? You needed to progress through the ages properly. Flying cars at the end of it, drones. Yeah,
Flying drones.
A bit of progression. Yeah, a bit of progression. You start with catapults, archery, stuff like that. You end with nukes and drones.
Yeah, I needed something. Maybe a nuke sounds fun.
No, that was more your civilization.
StarCraft. I should have played StarCraft. I missed that. I missed that change.
Do you think
people
that would
still
have been
play
your
it?
jam? Oh yeah, it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's my jam. Other than the fact it's my jam watching, but I don't have the.
No, you
what
don't.
Do you call the dexterity in your fingers or the?
So those guys are doing
muscle memory.
Those guys are doing. I don't know what you'd call the technique, but they're clicking a lot. All right. And they're doing macros and shit.
I'm sure that the game starts to feel like a job when you're just doing, you're automating.
StarCraft's a video game. Okay. If all you've ever seen is the best people in the world play, you would convince yourself that you're not capable of playing this game. No. You absolutely are. Because the game at its high, like if I pick up a football and then I watch AFL, like real players play the game, I'm not going to think, oh, well, bugger it then. I won't go for a kick. Go for a kick. I won't go for a kick, but people could go for a kick. You know what I'm saying? You could play StarCraft quite happily. Just the way you used to play your Age of Empires. Probably a bit better because you'd be, I don't know, it's something new, something exciting. It'll look better than the Age of Empires, that's for damn sure.
I might give it a
new
go.
StarCrafts.
But should I be playing against humans or bots? Is that a dumb question, firstly?
No. It depends, right? I mean, you might, the side of your brain that wants a challenge may just go straight for the I want to play against humans, right?
No.
And it'll do a pretty good job of ranking you against humans. You're not going to go against old mate who won SG, whatever the fuck they call it, 2022, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to go against that guy. You're going to go against some pleb or some young kid and smash him. That's what's going to happen in your first game. You're going to smash
because
them.
what I don't want to do is I don't want to play someone that trolls me by like microing me in my base,
I have no
days.
idea what that means, but that would be really bad. But I don't know what they're going to do.
Some people just do an all-in strategy where they just attack you immediately. Like they'll build like 2 units. They'll come in and just neck all your workers
because all your dudes are doing farm work and shit.
You're building for the future, right? You want to have this big land cruiser thingy flying in the sky, dropping wormholes, right? So you got to do some work to get there.
But they need to stifle your development at the very least.
They go, fuck the late game. I'm just going to go all in immediately, and you have no defenses. You've got worker bees. That's it. And then what you're trying to do is you're trying to micro. So microing's like more micro as opposed to macro. Macro is like groups of units, and you might attack on different fronts. It's like big macro play where you send in, one set of units on one direction and another set flanking them. That kind of jazz. Microing is where you have like one unit, and every little step matters. Where you step in, you fire a laser beam, you step out whilst you.
No. We're not doing that. We're just highlighting all of our units and telling them to attack the main building. That's what we'll be doing in our first one, and then they'll just disperse when they get attacked. They'll shoot them back. And that's how a lot of the Age of Empires sort of big competitions go. The commentators will know that they're pushing towards a certain age, and it might be the first age that you get to, and they'll say, okay, there's going to be some movement after this. People are going to start getting attacked now. They know, and they would know as well at the top of their game. If you're the best in the world, you know that, hey, in about 8 seconds, there's a horseman that's going to come over that area, and try and take out blah blah. They know the strats.
Hey, so. Are there alliances in StarCraft 2?
What, in competition?
Yeah, so like if you got 4 of you play, is it 1 versus 1 or is it don't you have multiple people in a game? Like you can have 8 humans, right? Or something like that.
I don't know if the StarCraft like championships would be 1-on-1, right? A lot of the games are 1v1. Right?
Yeah, that's all I've watched. I've watched very high level StarCraft 1v1.
Yep.
Because otherwise,
I prefer the other one where there's sort of 7 teams or 8 teams. And yes, in the OG game, especially if we're talking Age of Empires, the first team to build a merchant, like a trader. Okay, so trade seems to be hand in glove with alliances. Trade and alliances seems to be, right? You build a merchant's thing and you'll get a text message from every other lord saying, hey, if you send me 500 stone, 500 wood and 500 gold or something, we'll be friends. Alliance up. So then they're your friends. Now you got 2 versus 8. But they're not friends yet.
I like games that have that strategy where you have to...
Bit of diplomacy.
Diplomacy, yeah, I do like that. And I like watching any games played at a very high level.
Yeah.
I like watching professional anything. Yeah. I quite like watching Catan. I didn't even know how to play Settlers of Catan, and I just started watching the highest level of Catan. Yeah, and you get an idea.
Well, you probably thought, I'm not good enough to play this game, but you are. Just not at the highest level. Yeah, cool.
There's a lot of alliances in that, though, because you just want to – well, whoever's winning just gets rolled.
You got to gang up on them. Yeah, you have to.
I mean, otherwise you lose. There's one winner and 4 losers.
Same as our Game of Thrones games. When we play Game of Thrones together, when our crew plays Game of Thrones together, we know when the threat is near. Hey, he's got 6 castles. Hey, he's got 5 castles. We know that we need to stop them, and we rarely do. We're very honourable in that sense. We keep our battles. We keep the same battles.
The trick I shouldn't say this because I'm giving away. I don't actively do this, but this is my general feeling about how Game of Thrones board game goes down.
Go on.
Is you have to be trending towards being strong without anyone knowing that you're being strong. So it's almost like it's too late by the time someone else has to be the red herring out there that everyone's ganging up on. It can't be you. You can't be leading the race. Someone else has to take the front seat.
Right.
And then you get in their slipstream and you sort of convince the other guy that this it's clearly the other guy's a threat.
Yep.
And you don't want to be too strong.
Sneaking a castle, a couple of castles. Yep.
Yeah, and you might be your power. Power is a good way where you have the power tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not tokens on the battlefield, you don't see them like you see armies. Powers, and you don't have to show it. You keep that hidden. It is invisible in some sense. Obviously,
except for you have to declare how much power you have before any auctions for power go down.
Yes.
Which is strange because I would have thought power's a secret. Get fucked. You don't get to know how many power tokens I've got. And I apologize to the listeners if they've never played Game of Thrones board game before, but it's a
good game. Yeah, it's a good game.
It's a good game.
We should play it again sometime.
Yeah, we will.
Anyway, it's time probably just give you a couple of updates because there's a few themes going through our episodes of late because things change over time. We raise something and then over the course of the week something happens.
Yeah, it happens.
The crisis of the Juice spacecraft has been averted. Do you remember that there was...
Yeah, it was jammed. They had an antenna jammed, and I was under the impression that they didn't really have anything they could do about it.
Well, they said they had a lot of things they could try.
Right. Give it a jiggle, give it a wiggle.
Definitely. So these included, they tried shaking Juice. So Juice is an acronym for the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer.
Yep.
Pick whichever letters of that you want to try and make Juice out of.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. J-U, Jupes.
Jupes. Icy.
Ice.
The C makes it in as well, actually. IC of Y.
Right.
Moons doesn't get a gig. Moons is a silent word in that acronym.
And this is also the one that they're going to crash onto the planet they think is the least likely to have life, or one that's not the one that's most likely to have potential life.
That's it. They're going to leave it circling Ganymede instead of Europa. So when it ultimately crash lands, we're not going to contaminate that land.
But we've contaminated other lands so far. Surely, we do it all the time.
Not really.
Yeah, the moon. There's stuff on the moon. We left stuff there.
Yeah,
we left stuff on Mars. We leave shit on Mars.
But we've sort of determined that they're not really hosting life, whereas these are these are ice planets that have subterranean oceans, which may harbor life. So if you crash land, you now you don't know whether it's an Earth-based life form that you find later on, or you'd figure it out really quick. But you know what I mean? We might drop some earthly bacteria that just wipes out whatever's there, and then we don't even.
Yeah, okay. Or if you want to be less pessimistic about it, we pop some penguin eggs on the juice, and they can hatch there, obviously, and just boom it out.
Yeah, I think we should be actively trying to populate these worlds.
Exactly.
Personally,
yeah. Because when we get there, when we want to start living there, we're going to need something to eat. Right? Penguins. You got some penguins.
Everyone loves eating a penguin. A bit fatty, but otherwise delicious. So they tried
the new chicken.
They tried shaking juice using its thrusters.
Yeah. Give it a little jiggle. I'm glad they give that a go.
Because apparently this antenna was stuck by, it was a matter of millimeters. This pin was either in the way or wasn't, fucking off. Whatever the pin was supposed to do, it was not supposed to be there.
Someone's getting looked at back at the juice mission. Going, what's with the pin?
Oh, they would have been ropeable. Mm-hmm. They've been, fuck this pin. Okay, then they tried warming juice with sunlight. That didn't work.
So they've tried jiggling the juice and tried warming the juice.
They did.
Don't warm juice. Drink it cold.
Warm juice. Warm juice is so disgusting. It's so sweet. Yeah. Then they tried a non-explosive actuator.
Great. Wait. What does that mean?
Don't know. It's got an acronym as well, though, an NEA.
Ah, good. I'm more familiar with the NEA. Yep. How did that go?
Success.
Okay.
So it broke free. It's called the radar. It's the RIME, the Radar for Icy Moons Exploration. That's the acronym for the antenna. Everything in the scientific world, everything needs an acronym.
Of course.
So Juice was on its way. RIME got stuck, and then they used an NEA, or maybe they call it a NEA.
Who knows? Whatever's quicker.
To pop the pin off.
NEA, 3 syllables. NEA, 2 syllables. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and now it's unfurled its antenna. It's 16-meter long antenna.
Right, but it's still got a 6-year journey to go before it starts going to the place, right?
Yeah, 6 years.
So we're just getting this done pretty early.
Yeah, they wanted to have the antenna flopped out. I don't know why.
No, you need it. Well,
you don't want to get there. You don't want to get there and realize, that you got no RIME. So it's going to arrive in Jupiter in 2031, and it can use this RIME to study the surface and subsurface structure of Jupiter's icy moons, as the 3 that we were talking about before, Ganymede, Europa, and another one.
Yep.
To a depth of 9 kilometers. And I last said 9 meters, I'm pretty sure.
9 kilometers. Now we're talking. Hang on. That doesn't sound right.
Doesn't sound right, but that's
sound
the
right
latest
at all.
I read. I was like, 9 kilometers.
Do we go 9 Ks down anywhere here?
I didn't even know the moons. I don't even know how big the moons are, but because they're obviously huge.
That sounds like a lot. Sounds like it would take a long time too.
What to do the? I don't know how radar. Is it radar? I don't know what it is.
So it's using some sort of depth scan thing to go 9 Ks into the planet, into the moon.
That's it. And we were talking about just give it
for some reason, man. My brain was thinking they were drilling 9 kilometers into the core.
Oh no,
grabbing shit. Maybe some of them, thermal vent creatures, grabbing some of them and getting them out.
Well, I think Enceladus is the other moon, actually.
But there's more than that, right? Jupiter has more than 3 moons. These are just the ones that we like the best.
Yeah, there's 4 big ones, which were determined because they were so much larger, and they're so icy and bright. That's the other thing, because the ice keeps forming from tectonic movements in the moon, and it becomes like virtually a mirror relative to a rocky planet. Anyway,
we talked about this on the weekend. This juice trip, we didn't talk about this in particular, but this juice trip with its 6-year journey around the solar system before it whips around and goes for its journey to Jupes, and then visits a few moons, I'm assuming gets into their orbits. I don't know how.
Yeah.
And it's going to do all of that with no one on board, obviously, remotely. It's going to be all done just with maths, right? That sounds like a shit ton of maths and work. Sounds difficult, right? What they're doing. That sounds really difficult. Yeah, they're not launching up something quite as big as a spaceship with people in it, but the whole thing is a lot of maths, right?
Hell yeah.
Sounds difficult. And the moon sounds difficult. Getting to our moon, 237 odd thousand kilometers away, that sounds difficult, right? Sounds a bit easier than that, to be honest. But it is difficult, I've been told. And I have it on good authority that getting to the moon is quite hard.
It seems that way. Well, we've got a lot of people working on it, a lot of funding.
But as you said on the weekend, it took them 7 years in the 60s to go from we're going, and yes, they had a rocket program before that, from we're going to getting there. And that is mind-blowing.
It was quick. It wasn't much of a program, like relative to what we have now. Like we got this 50 years of launching satellites now. 50 years plus. 60 years of launching satellites. We've got a fair idea about rockets, a fair idea about space.
Yes.
Quite a lot of tech going on.
Yes. And it's still taking its time, right? And this could be a safety thing. This could be a whole number of things. I don't think it's a money thing because I think the money's there. I pointed out to you on the weekend, I feel like if in the 60s, the late 60s, they went to the moon, then they went to the moon again the next month or a couple of months later, and they did it again and again and again. And people back on Earth must have just been thinking, all right, you've done it. You went there. Stop with the rockets. Stop launching all the rockets. People don't care about this anymore, right? Well, they probably did, but probably just thought, hey, we could spend this money somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So the appetite for space exploration going back to the moon was dead or not good, in bad shape. But now I feel like, as we said on the weekend, that it's back. Like the appetite's back. The money's flowing. There's people who are going.
Huge appetite.
Huge appetite.
Huge appetite. Everyone's trying to go. Everyone's trying to establish a moon base now. Everyone's doing it.
And they will, right? But it seems they keep telling us it's really hard.
Maybe they will. Maybe they will.
Yeah, this is crazy, isn't it? That's crazy.
We'll see. We're gonna find out shortly. I mean, there's people are going up 2.5 years.
Let's say JFK comes out today, says we're going back to the moon in 7 years. Do you think we'll be back on the moon in 7 years? 7 years for if you're playing at home is 2030.
Yep.
You think we'll have boots?
Yeah, we'll have boots. I reckon we'll have boots. We'll see though. I'm not sure.
I think we will, but I just don't know how because they keep saying it's so hard.
It does seem strange that it's this hard.
Now.
We've done it before. We've done it many times before.
Yeah.
We've got all the tech now. We've actually got computers now. That's nice.
Yes.
We got a lot of transferable technology. So you were talking about dropping some penguins in on
Ganymede probably because that's the iciest one. Chuck them on Ganymede.
Or
they can eat the ice. They'll work it out. Can they breathe?
I think it was Europa. Is it Europa one? I think all these moons are confusing me now. But anyway, it doesn't matter which one it is.
Europa's the one that's more likely to have ice. Ganymede's the one with the icy volcanic nature.
They've all got a lot of ice. I mean, this is the icy moons mission.
Yeah. I know they have ice, but isn't Ganymede the one with it's tectonically active ice?
I think they all have. I think Europa is, think, the most active one. And this is one reason why the rings of planets are formed is because you're getting all this material spewing into space and then it starts orbiting. The material just starts orbiting the planet.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's scientists are up to some weird stuff again, but this seems useful.
Good. I like if it has a practical application.
So this NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab is creating a snake-like robot for traversing and exploring extreme terrain.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. And this is actually designed for one of the ice moons originally. but it's also, I think it's generally applicable to any world, any strange place. But it's called EELS. It's short for Exobiology Extant Life Surveyor.
I hate it.
Because it looks like a snake.
I fucking hate it. I hate the idea.
It's a robot snake.
I hate the idea of there being a lovely little alien chap just chilling out on his planet with no knowledge of the of us or the cosmos, right? When a fucking robot snake comes down and starts mechanically whizzing around him. That sounds terrifying.
I know, right?
That sounds
That's
absolutely
my problem
terrifying.
with this. I think we have to put some real time into the optics of this thing. Because if we start mass creating
snakes
eels,
to explore the universe,
self-propelled autonomous robots that calculate in real time, make decisions on their own.
I hate it.
It's terrible. I feel so, because we have this sexy idea of encountering alien life where maybe not a sexy idea.
No,
but
it's almost certainly going to be some metally disgusting spider thing.
How disappointing
That's what's going to
would you
visit
be?
us first. That's what's going to visit us first. Not an alien with his big head and his green skin and does little wave with his 4 fingers. No. It's going to be their tech. It's going to be something that they're just going to throw at us.
It's going to be their drones that are just sent out to explore the universe. So this thing weighs 100 kilos and is 13 foot long.
Sounds fucking scary.
Terrifying. Why are we sending out like snakes?
Terrifying things? Yeah.
One of those deep psychological things that most people are quite scared of. Like, we have Adam, Eve, and the devil was a snake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've decided.
I like that. Yeah,
let's go for a robot snake.
Yeah, and we'll create a religion on the new planet over there about a snake who came and told them the truth. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I think they need to rethink eels.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
The
fluffy bunny bot or the...
a robot pug.
Yeah, a robot pug.
And don't worry so much about the ability for the unit. See, they've obviously chosen this thing because it's really good at navigating and it can do things because of the way it's designed. Don't worry about that.
We got other priorities.
Just mass produce lots of little kind of like space pugs, like a little dome.
Pokemon.
A domed.
Pokemon.
Yeah. And they've got to put some thought into that, really. I don't know if anyone's monitoring that. Yeah. Right. They withdraw their funding, please.
Yeah, less serpents in the fucking skies, right? More nice things. But it's true. It's true. They will not send themselves. They'll send their tech. And I was watching an episode of that new Netflix show, which is meant to be like a Twilight Zone for now, produced by Guillermo del Toro, who's like a visually striking director. And the 3rd episode that I just watched was fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
It was just this it was a guy who was doing autopsies on people who died in like a mining accident.
Okay.
And one of the blokes who died had an alien in him.
Oh.
Like in his body. And to get out, he had to get it. They're parasitical. They have no senses of their own. They can't see. They can't hear. They can't do anything without taking a host, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then they feed on other humans to sustain them, right? But the most fascinating part for me, and the thing that's relevant to this conversation, is that like at one point he throws this little orb, a little sphere, like a basketball-sized thing, and it explodes. And you find out later what it is. It's his ship. They've evolved to become smaller and smaller and smaller and less waste. So no limbs, no appendages, no eyes, nothing. Like just get rid of all that. You've got your ship, and then you've got, when you get there, go grab a body. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was thinking, this thing's tiny. It's a tiny little ship that he's traversing the universe in. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're going to go long distances through space, let's use something small, a bit more efficient, right? Like if we could shrink ourselves, right, and get on a rocket, a small rocket, and get to, maybe that's the way we get to Mars efficiently, is if we do a bit of shrinkage, right? And they put the shrinkage ray on you and then they unshrink you on the other side, right? Kind of like that Matt Damon movie that no one watched. You watched that one?
No, which one's that?
It's called Downsizing. It's like a future where you're allowed to, you pay money and you get shrunk.
But why does size matter in space? I guess mass, I suppose if you have less mass, you can
go faster or...
Yeah. I didn't think mass mattered too much in outer space, but...
I was just thinking how hard it would be if I was an ant to get in an ant-sized rocket and take off. It would take ages, I would think, to get out of Earth's atmosphere. It would take forever.
Or maybe it would... Oh,
we need an astrophysicist.
Yeah, because I don't know if momentum is something to do with mass. So I don't think you want to be small when there's an atmosphere. You don't want to be light. I don't know. I don't know.
There's a bit of science there to break down.
This alien parasite movie. Have you seen Sputnik?
Yeah, it's the Russian satellite.
Yeah, well, that is a Russian satellite. But there's a movie that came out in 2020, I think it is. That's
2020 called Sputnik.
Yes.
Oh, ill-timed.
Sci-fi horror.
Right. And the idea is what? Like it's
alien parasite type situation.
What gets on Sputnik?
No, Sputnik's not involved other than the fact that I think it's a word that reminds you of space and Russia.
Great. So it's nothing to do with Sputnik?
Nothing to do with Sputnik. It's set in the 80s.
Great.
The movie. It's really cool. I won't give anything away, but it's worth checking out.
Yeah. No.
It's a bit different. And just because it's done by Russia.
Yeah.
It's got a different flavour.
I was also thinking that there's not a good chance that you and I are going to Mars or the moon, right?
Not a good chance, no.
Not a great chance. But and this relies heavily on being able to download the human brain. Download it. We can, in a world where we can download brains.
We might get there. Yeah.
Right. What if we could go there? What if we could take our consciousness to Mars or the moon? What do you feel about that?
Take our consciousness.
Well, here's the question. Do you think it's more likely that someone like you and me could go to Mars or the moon, or do you think it's more likely that our consciousnesses could potentially go to the moon or Mars? Which one's more likely? You actually going there, or you going there in some other way?
It's tough, right? We will have the tech to physically get there.
Yes.
Soon.
Yes. But we're not on the list.
We're not on the list, no.
No.
I mean, if Steve Aoki's on the list, we could...
He's on a list. They're only going around the moon. They're not going to Mars. But yes, I take your point. He's going to the moon, and that's one of the... Yeah, sure. I'll take a flyby.
It may take a lot longer for us to get to the point where we have the tech to download our consciousness. That sounds a bit complicated.
Yeah, but what's first? Affordable space travel to the moon, because that's coming, right? But we could be talking definitely. A couple of 100 years or whatever, but that's going to be a thing for someone.
Oh, 100%. It's huge. The space industry is going bananas. Have you heard, do you want to take a luxury hot air balloon to the edge of space with me?
Do I? Jesus.
Do you have $132,000 US?
Hang on. Let me check.
Yeah, check your wallet.
No.
Well, whatever you have.
Yeah.
You can earn the balance.
Yeah.
But we'll need that each, so we can start saving. There's this French startup called Zephalto, Zephalto, and they've partnered with the French Space Agency.
Yeah.
And they're offering high-altitude balloon flights, like real high.
What are we talking? What's high?
Well, 25 kilometres, but apparently you're in the darkness of space and you've got 98% of the atmosphere below you. So you don't have zero gravity.
You must be wearing some sort of breathing apparatus?
No, you're in a pressurized capsule.
You're in a capsule.
You're in a pressurized capsule. So the balloon carries a pressurized capsule. There's going to be 6 of you in there and 2 pilots. Great. 6 of us, should I say.
Yeah.
It's a 6-hour flight. These start in 2025. They're taking deposits.
Jesus. I just looked up the elevation of Mount Everest to get an idea of 25 Ks versus the highest point that we've got where you can be, which is 8.8 kilometers high. So, and you said 25 for this hot air balloon. Is that right?
That's it. So apparently
edge of space
you
is
see the
100?
curvature. Yeah. You see the curvature of the Earth. You're in the darkness of space. Yeah, you're well short of the Kármán line, which is what's commonly regarded as outer space. But for all practical purposes, you'll feel like you're in space. Other than you don't have the zero gravity thing, but you need to eat because they're serving Michelin star caliber food.
On board.
This is on board. This is the thing that's going to set them apart from the competitors. You can
So
have
you're
like a
gonna eat
lobster
up there.
thermidor. Yeah.
Is it
Whilst you're
comfortable?
looking,
Have you had a look at the internals of this balloon?
I haven't, but it will be. It's supposed to
It'd
be.
be nice.
It's high end. It's a high end
pretty high,
experience.
Yeah.
But what's funny, right, is on their website, I was having a look at their website, it says that the balloon's going to be filled either with hydrogen or helium.
What,
It
we
didn't
don't know
specify
yet?
which. No.
Oh,
But do
why
you know
don't they
that?
know yet?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
But the what's it called? The Zeppelin, the
The
Hindenburg
Yeah.
was filled with hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Because they didn't have any helium. Apparently the US stopped exporting helium, right?
Oh.
And so Germany made a decision, because this is like in the lead, this is in the 30s, I'm pretty sure it was. So this is in the lead up when Germany was sort of being a bit naughty. So the US refused to export helium. You start popping on sanctions because you're a bit worried about what they're up to.
Yeah.
That's where we
all
were.
the time.
And so they made a decision. We've got to kind of fill it with hydrogen because we don't have any helium going around. Helium's an inert gas. Hydrogen's not as inert. It's actually incredibly flammable. And they just someone thought that it would be okay. The Hindenburg was 3 times as long as a Boeing 747.
Yeah, it's
3
big.
times. Could you imagine something like that going up?
Well, it went down.
Or coming down?
Yeah. Yeah. Bit of a big one.
It says here 80 feet shorter than the Titanic.
Yep. Another big one.
Another big one. That went down in the US as well. That's the irony of the whole thing. So the US stopped exporting helium to Germany. The Hindenburg did a transatlantic flight across to the US, and I'm pretty sure it went down somewhere in the US, just before it landed, yeah. So people were watching it in fear.
Out of control.
So, I mean, if they decide to fill it with helium, I'm in.
Right. Hydrogen, no. Why not?
Hydrogen, no, because the Hindenburg.
Surely they can do it safely. I mean, your rocket, if you want to go to do your moon flyby, you're getting in a rocket. What are they using as fuel these days?
Oh, who knows?
Exactly. But I imagine it's not very nice.
There's a few other competitors. Neptune 1, they go a bit high. They go to 30 kilometres, but they're not offering lobster thermidor, so.
Right. They can get fucked.
They can get out, yeah.
Right. What are they offering? Is it just normal meals?
Oh, it's just a flight. Yeah, you're doing it for the the view.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, man. There were some people who went on, is it Bezos's one? Might have been Bezos's one. And they're just YouTubers. And they can go up and do a video. Hey, we're going to go, one of us is going to space, kind of rock, scissors, paper. It's you. Go. Sounds scary.
Oh, it's super scary. Virgin Galactic are just getting going again. They've got their next astronaut flight that they haven't done one in 2 years when they set up Branston.
Yeah. Yep.
They're doing their 5th space flight. Apparently it's the last trial, the final assessment before commercial service opens up in late June.
Fuck. I'm not going. Sounds dangerous.
Well, with all these commercial space flights on the horizon, there's going to be some accidents.
Hindenburg, you got the Hindenburg, right? That was like, us trying to do the balloon thing, humans trying to do the balloon thing. It didn't work that time. You got the Titanic. That's a big ship. Let's build a big ship.
Try and do the boat thing.
Do the boat thing. Didn't work on that occasion when I hit an iceberg. And then you've got the future, which is, put it this way, if they start touting something as the Titanic of space, they go, look, we can get 7,000 people on one of these fucking space cruises that we've just made. It's called the Titanic. Yeah? I'm not getting on. They say it's the ship is what's a good word for something that a spaceship should have? They say the hull is impenetrable. I'm not getting on that one. That one's the one that's not going to work.
Yeah, I'll stay on the ground for a little bit longer. But I mean, we get in commercial aircraft like they're going out of fashion.
Yeah, but we've pretty much perfected that. Plus, if someone said, do you want to get on the Hindenburg or the Titanic of Boeings, I'd probably have reservations. Even though if you said, look, it's either the heavy plane or the lightest plane we've got, I'm going the heavy one.
Yeah. And things go wrong. It seems like we send up so many things and they're fine. Like Juice is fine now.
Yep. I happened to catch a space launch on the weekend. They were just launching up some more Starlink satellites. I think it was launch 56 or something. And the commentators, the people who were talking over the video, looked like there was no risk. You know, the way they were talking, yeah, that's fine. And stage separation and done. And now that's going to come back. And yep, we're good. So looks like they've got some bits down and, you know, Starship blowing up. They're still not there yet where they're fully confident with it, I guess.
No, and to give you a recent example, there's this Japanese company called iSpace.
Mm.
They were supposed to be the first private rover, the first private. Well, they were trying to be the first successful private landing on the moon. They had a rover with them and a couple of other bits of gear, some Canadian AI. I don't know what they're doing with that. But that crash landed about maybe a month ago, less than a month ago. They lost contact with it. It was doing its landing procedure. And on the moon, and they lost contact with it. And they just said a few hours later, they said, we just haven't heard anything from it.
And that's allowed, is it? A private company can just litter the moon. They can just litter.
Well, they did, yeah. They did.
They're just littering.
Just having a look at it now. The primary landing site was to be the Atlas crater, located on the outer edge of the Sea of Cold, apparently, wherever that is.
Sounds like a lovely spot.
Oh, man, the best place on the moon, the Sea of Tranquility. That is such a beautiful name for a location on the cold, dead.
There's a lot of seas on the moon, isn't there?
I don't understand why.
Yeah. I don't really understand why either.
Actually, you can look up, apparently this iSpace mob took this awesome Earthrise shot.
Okay.
With the rare hybrid eclipse. Yeah, with the hybrid eclipse that went over Exmouth in the background.
Okay.
It was when the hybrid eclipse was in the South Pacific.
Excellent. It's very cool. I think I can see that now.
So also on board this mission was the Mini Rashid rover.
Okay.
For the United Arab Emirates Space Agency. They've got one too. They've got on board. An artificial intelligence system from the Canadian company Mission Control. What are they doing with an artificial intelligence system? What is that? They're putting a computer on the moon?
Yeah. Shove it up there.
What does that mean? So they lost that anyway. So apparently only 3 countries have soft landed on the moon before: the US, Soviet Union, and China. And they've got plans. iSpace is sending up a few more things. One next year, one 2025.
Okay.
Man, the moon is actually really cool. I know we probably crap on about it a fair bit, but it's quite an unusual. We have quite a special moon in a lot of ways. Yeah,
it's a good one. We don't mind it. Looking forward to getting up there, checking it out in 4K. That's what I'm looking forward to,
mate. There's a bit of 4K going on. There's this Korean orbiter as well. I'm full of moon stuff at the moment. I'm full bottle. It's called the Korean Pathfinder Lunar Orbiter, or KCIII.
I got so much shit up there, man. Look at that.
Check out the latest photos that sent back.
What's the company? Or what's
KCIII, the Korean Pathfinder Lunar Orbiter. It's in low lunar orbit. It's been there since mid-December. and it's got some sweet photos of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the I'll send you a link actually. It's worth checking out.
I will check it out. Last week, dude.
Yeah.
The king, the coronation of the king.
Yeah. What's he up to?
I don't know.
Celebrating?
I don't think there's much going on now. I think we just wait for the next thing.
Ominous.
It got me reading about, because I was going to mention it last week, but I forgot. And that's our Prime Minister, who was in attendance along with 180 other world leaders, was there. And there was a bit of sort of, is he going to do the pledge? Because it's optional to do the pledge.
Yeah, it's optional. Hey, Luff, it's optional, mate.
It's something optional, Luff.
It's optional. Don't worry. We don't know.
So here's the skinny. The Church of England has changed the wording of its invitation to the public to pledge allegiance to King Charles during his coronation following a public backlash.
Okay.
So they changed the wording. Do you want to know the OG wording?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
In a previous version of the text, published in April, the Archbishop was to call upon all persons of goodwill in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and of all other realms and territories to make their homage in heart and voice to their undoubted king, defender of all.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the new one.
Undoubted king. Reads. Yes, okay.
Okay, so instead of them all going up and kissing the ring, they've changed it a little bit, I think, to, and I did notice this bit in the service, which was during the liturgy. He says, I now invite those who wish to offer their support to do so with a moment of private reflection by joining in saying, God save King Charles at the end, or for those with the words before them to recite them in full. And here's the full pledge. I swear that I will pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors according to law. So help me God.
True allegiance according to law.
I will pay true allegiance to your majesty, King Charles, and to your heirs and successors. So he did that. So Albo did that, by the way. He did do the pledge. I don't know if if there's footage of him doing the actual full bit or whether or not he just did the God Save King Charles bit at the end. I don't know.
You kind of have to do it, don't you?
I think he had to do it.
Yeah.
He's a representative of Australia. Australia is a constitutional monarchy at the moment, and I guess you had to do it.
It's just words. I think it's meaningless.
It's not meaningless.
It's not a binding contract. It's not the bloody magical binding contract that we've entered into, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, shit. Did he get legal advice?
See, here's the thing.
Do you reckon he ran that by the Governor General? It was just like, hey.
They would have had a chat. Probably there.
They're like, mate, this doesn't mean anything, does it? We can just pledge allegiance, can't we, according to law?
I think the problem is that whoever was at Queen Elizabeth's coronation, 58 or whatever, when they invited everybody to do the pledge then, and they would have probably done the full one back then, which is all the stuff about make their pledge in homage and heart and voice and to their undoubted queen.
Whilst they're munging on some coronation chicken.
Whilst they're munging on coronation chick. And the person who was leading the Commonwealth back then, or Australia more specifically, probably would have done the allegiance then, and that pays to Her Majesty plus to her heirs and successors according to law. So help us God. There you go.
I'm just going to check out who the Australian PM was in 53.
Yeah, well, 58, wasn't it? Or was it 53?
I think it was 53. Wait, I thought it was 53. Bob Menzies.
Right, 53. So it was Robert Menzies?
Yeah.
Was he there?
Mate, I don't know if he was there, but get this. Australia's longest-serving Prime Minister. He was Prime Minister twice from 39 to 41. I don't know what happened with the war then because he just maybe, I don't know what happened. And then again from 49 to 66, spending a total of 18 years. Are you allowed to be in?
Yeah, they are.
Fucking hell.
In Australia, you can. Like, how long was we've had a lot of PMs who have done a lot. He's done the most though, right? The most years in the job.
You'd think so.
Right?
That's a lot. That's crazy. I thought Howard was doing well. Yeah, he announced the declaration of the Second World War to the people of Australia. He helped found the Liberal Party in 1944.
There you go. That's true.
Well, okay.
The clip. Here's something interesting. This is about Menzies. This clip from a home video filmed by Australian Prime Minister Sir Robert Menzies shows Queen Elizabeth II arriving at Westminster Abbey in a horse-drawn carriage for her coronation on the 2nd of June 1953. So he was there. She alights from the carriage, which I assume means exits, surrounded by her maids of honour, and enters the Abbey. The groom of the robes delivers the royal robe of pall cloth of gold with the stole royal to the Dean of Westminster, who, assisted by the mistress of the robes, puts it upon the Queen. Says here, the Archbishop of Canterbury gives the sceptre and then the rod with the dove to the Queen. The Archbishop lowers a crown onto her head, then kisses her right hand. The Duke of Edinburgh then ascends the steps of the throne and, having taken off his coronet, kneels down and places his hands between the Queen's and says the words of homage.
What are they?
Words of homage. That we know those words now. Then Her Majesty leaves the chapel wearing her crown and bearing the sceptre in the orb. So I thought, I was skipping ahead. I thought maybe Robert Menzies was hand in between the Queen saying the words of homage, but it's actually the Duke of Edinburgh, which was Prince Philip. So no. Cannot see that particular one, but Menzies was there. He was filming it. So I have to try and get that video.
At least he did something.
Oh my God. Incredible.
You've got it.
Yeah. It's the National Film and Sound Archive of Australia, and the clip is on there. So I guess it's public. It's great.
And that's probably some AI generated, video thing. How are we ever going to look back through time and know what actually happened?
Anything pre 2020 is going to be a lot better in terms of the AI-ness of it. But no, man, just think about sort of 1,000 years from now, all humans are gone, and someone picks up a copy of the Terminator and thinks it's a documentary, right? Or probably.
I don't know. I got some new shoes on the weekend.
New shoes?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
What, running shoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I decided that I've had enough of normal running shoes and that I want to get the fastest shoe out there, even if it's not legal.
The fastest shoe? What does that mean?
Bought the Nike Alphaflys.
How fast are you usually? How fast are you with the flyers?
They say you get 4. They say you're 4% faster.
Just by wearing the shoes.
Yeah.
So I'd be 4%. Excuse me. I'd be 4% faster if I wore the shoes.
You would be. Well, if you ran. Apparently, they're just more efficient. There's a triple carbon fiber plate in them.
Oh.
They look horrendous. They're so obnoxious. They didn't have there's either bright pink or bright orange, and they were out of the bright oranges. I had to go to the opening of the new Nike store in the city. 1 hour in, they'd had some new ones in stock.
And you got the pink ones?
Yeah, I've got matching shoes with the wife.
Fantastic.
They're both pink. And they're men's. There's a men's and women's, but it just wouldn't be my first choice. But everyone knows you're wearing them. Everyone knows you're wearing these shoes are illegal at the Olympics.
They're illegal at the Olympics.
They're illegal.
Are they legal at your jams? If you were to go down for a half Ironman?
Yeah, they're legal. I saw someone who was
no one's going to eye you
professionally
down if you're wearing the pink shoes.
No, but you might have a few people know about it. I saw one of the professional Ironmen was wearing them. At least one of them anyway. And I was like, mate, they're fucking illegal.
Wow.
And he's competing for money. But what's a fair shoe? Like, it's a fucking shoe, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's called technological doping now.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm all about that.
Yeah, that's what I was about. Oh, man, I'm going to tech dope. Of course I'm going to
whatever
tech
you
dope.
can do. Yeah. Bloody oath.
Yeah, I'm not putting anything in me. Like I'm a bit more concerned. I've said that if I had someone that knew what they were doing, if I had like a proper doping coach or something,
right,
I would do it if he could guarantee me he knew what he was doing and I wasn't going to have any adverse health. It's just for a bit of fun. I'm not trying to win. Like I just want to know what I would do. I'm curious.
To be honest, I think it'd be better if they did me. So if we do get in touch with somebody who can do that stuff, it's probably better if I do it.
The problem is though,
I'll start doing Ironmans and that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I've plateaued at a level though, so I'll know how much the doping assists my performance. Right. Whereas you won't know. You'll just be training and doping and just getting better, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's the drugs." But I'll be like, yeah, it's also the fact that you're running.
No, it's just the drugs.
These are known as the shoe that broke running by a sports scientist.
Yeah, and Dr. similar things have happened in swimming, right? They've banned certain swimwear because it's too sleek and fast. Yep,
2008 Beijing Olympics, 23 out of the 25 swimming records broken came from athletes wearing it's called an LZR racer.
It's just a wetsuit, right? It's basically like almost a wetsuit.
Basically. Just improves your buoyancy.
Technology.
I mean, tennis players went to metal rackets from wood ones. I mean, I think that was pretty controversial at the time.
Yeah. What about bats in baseball? I'm pretty sure they changed those.
Did they?
Yeah.
So what do they even use? Are they wood bats in baseball? I don't even know.
Wood.
Oh, because they break sometimes, don't they?
They do.
But do they have a big metal like rod in them? No. Or is that what's illegal? That's probably what's illegal.
And there's something that is illegal, which is called coring, which they hollow out the middle of the bat. So sometimes
so it's like a tennis racket. So
you can swing it really fast, I guess. But so what will happen is they'll get caught because it'll smash the bat. The bat will break. And then they'll go, look, it's cored. Like the bat's cored.
Oh, I can see what would happen. It would bend. It compresses because the same thing happens with these shoes. There's a triple carbon fiber plate and there's a certain type of foam they use. It looks weird. The shoes look so strange because they're really thick in the sole, very thick. And you think you'd want thin, right? But the plates store and compress mechanical energy in that midsole foam.
Oh, okay.
And the carbon fiber gives it more midsole stiffness, and then you're basically storing energy. You compress it, and it holds it, and it springs. It's like a spring, really.
Oh, no. You got springs?
They're not springs. It's different. So they've made illegal this triple carbon fiber plate that I've got. You can have a single carbon fiber plate. This is also the shoe that Kipchoge broke the 2-hour marathon that people said was humanly impossible. Not just he couldn't do it. Humans, there was people that said that studied body movement and things like that, sports scientists, and they said it was physically impossible for a human to run a sub 2-hour marathon. And then he came along with his Alphaflys and his couple of other things. The marathon that Kipchoge did was actually quite artificial in the way it wasn't an official marathon circuit for starters. Right. They just took an area of they basically ran in straight lines and around 2 roundabouts. So it's basically I think it was about maybe 5 kilometre long track road that was completely flat. They had a roundabout at each end. So you did quite a generous turning circle. And they had a car driving in front that was emitting lasers onto the road. So
I remember you telling me about this ages ago.
Yeah, it was in 2009.
And wasn't he getting a bit of a slipstream as well?
Yeah, he had teams of runners. He had running in front of him and sort of beside him, and they would swap out the team of runners every 5Ks. So he was actually getting aerodynamic assistance, which you wouldn't get in a race if you're going that fast. If you're going that fast, you're leading the marathon.
Yeah, and if you're leading, you're not getting a slipstream. Yeah.
And there's no – in a race, there's this whole cat and mouse about when do you surge, you're trying to break them, whereas this is pure holding a pace. I think he averaged like over 21 kilometres an hour.
Wow.
running. Get on a treadmill and run at 21. It's nutty.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so they had to make these shoes illegal for the Tokyo Olympics because in 2019, 31 of the 36 podiums in major marathons were taken by people with these Nike. They were called Vaporflies then, which is like a progenitor to the Alphaflys.
I was looking at some of the. I think it was a photo taken at 2019 New York Marathon, and it's a picture of the leaders, and they're all wearing the same shoes.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that was just Nike throwing money at them all, but I also think the fact that the runners they would take the best shoe as well. I don't think they'd compromise. You want to win, right?
Yep. Far out.
So I thought I'm going to get on board with this. I mean, they're not cheap shoes.
I think Nike was sort of behind this. They make their shoe illegal. They make a shoe so crazy that they make it illegal. And then punters like yourself will go, well, I'm not racing professionally. I'll take the shoes.
100%.
How much are the shoes? Are they expensive?
$370.
Right, and is that the going rate for a good pair of running shoes?
No, a good pair is $200. Oh,
Right,
they get more than that, but I spend $200 on shoes. That's like a decent pair of running shoes, like one that's safe to run in long distances.
Far out.
These look ridiculous. They don't look safe. They're light as anything. And I actually went out and did a 3K time trial on Sunday morning to see. No, I haven't put the shoes on yet. I don't dare wear them yet.
You're doing the base.
Yeah, I'm setting a control.
Yeah.
And if I don't do my next 3K, faster than the last one, I'm taking them back to the bloody store. I'm going to throw them in their face.
Yep. What do you think will happen? What's your prediction?
I think it'll be faster, but whether it's mental as well, I'm wearing the fast shoes now. I'll run a bit faster.
Far out. Maybe you just feel like you can push it harder. Maybe the shoes will give you a bit of confidence.
It's the only shoe I've worn, and in the store, you're bouncing around on them, and you're just, when I say bouncing, they're not actual springs. They just feel like the whole way they're geared to run. Like, it's pretty good because Nike was so far behind. They didn't put a lot of effort into making a good running shoe. I laughed at people that had Nike running shoes when I used to run. I was like, man, that is rubbish. You're going to be okay. Like, your ankle's all right.
Right.
And now they've sort of gone the other way, yeah. But I did read that in the future, there's other ways that tech could assist, and they reckon that they might. It revolves around, what is it? Perceived exertion. So they say that they use brain manipulation using transcranial direct stimulation, which is apparently growing in popularity. So you sort of put a little electricity through your skull, and your brain's level of perceived exertion is lowered somehow.
Oh yeah, great.
Apparently they're called, so this transcranial direct current stimulation always has an acronym, TDCS. So they say TDCS products are already on the market, making big claims that aren't backed by independent evidence. Okay.
It's a bit like the ring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just pop the ring on. Faster runner mode. Engaged.
TDCS.
I mean, before we go down the technological path, we could try hypnosis. We could get you hypnotized.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you'd be up for that, right?
If it was the right person that was doing the hypnotism, I wouldn't. I don't know, someone that has that's their sort of job or something. Job. If that's what, do sports psychologists do that kind of stuff?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if I can't figure out if I'd be easily hypnotized or not. One part of me thinks I would be. The other part, because I'm very suggestible. The other part thinks me like I'm pretty worried about it. Like deep down, I'm like, nah, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to fully kind of, commit. It's too weird.
I'm with you. I feel the same way.
Yeah, so the shoes are a pretty big deal. Luffingham, what is it? Oh, we didn't get Luff any shoes. He's fucking so devo. Everyone's got him in the house, but he doesn't. Luff, come here.
Couldn't he have your old shoes? You're not going to use them anymore.
Yeah, but he wants one with carbon fiber plates in them. Matching shoes. Well, WA's got a big surplus. Did you see that?
Yeah.
4.2 bill. When I saw it, I was thinking of our 42.
Oh, yeah. It had to be 4.2 bill.
Had to be. Apparently it was forecast to be 1.6 bill, and then they just came up with 4.2 bill all of a sudden. I mean, that's...
Yeah. Is that good? I guess that's good, yeah.
That's great, yeah. Everyone getting a $400 electricity credit, another one.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Don't hear too many people complaining about that, but I mean, they've cut other things as well. Apparently the space industry, there's huge cuts to the space budget in the latest in the national budget.
Right. Can you afford that?
Oh, the Space Industry Association of Australia is absolutely flipping out. They're like, what? Like, you've promised all these things previously, and apparently they haven't released any information about why. They've just allocated it to other things.
Yep.
And they've always said that we're trying to move in the direction of expanding. Being a space player. Like, we were once a massive space player. We were the 5th state or nation to put something in orbit.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, we were. We were huge. From the Woomera spaceport in Adelaide. We were like at the top end of space exploration, and then all the funding's just been gutted, and now we're nothing.
So don't we? But that's got to change.
Well, not if there's not funding.
Yeah, no.
So the government's cancelled the $30 million allocated previously to support the development of Australian spaceports, which was designed to unlock billions in potential investment from US companies particularly.
Oh, yeah. Like also, SpaceX.
Yeah. And New Zealand has an absolute, burgeoning space. They're on the forefront.
I think that's where the launch was from on the weekend that I was watching. Yeah, and they launched the Starlink stuff from there.
It's such a beautiful spot. It's this peninsula. The spaceport's on the starts with an M, some peninsula. It's probably the most sexy spaceport in the world.
I mean, there's pretty sexy spaceports out there. But in other news of things that cost lots of money that not everybody likes.
Yeah.
There was an episode of Utopia a couple of years ago. You know Utopia? It's about sort of a government department focused on the future proofing of Australia or whatever you want to call it.
Rob Sitch,
Working Dog Productions, best shit ever.
Amazing.
Also did The Dish, so more linkage, which was about the moon mission. They have this bit about Tassie. What does Tassie need? And they ordered all the priorities, right?
Yeah.
And the guy who's like the harebrained guy from head office, from the PM's office, comes in and goes, "We've got it. We're doing the stadium." And the whole episode is about how the people of Tasmania do not want a stadium. A lot of their things have low numbers to the events. I think there's a bit where they're talking about attendances, and he says something like test match, Australia playing against I don't know who, and he says 16,000. He goes, "Oh, that's not bad." He goes, "Yeah, over 5 days." Right, so there's a whole bunch of stuff in that episode about how people do not want this stadium. And I'm seeing the stuff now, the people saying, hey, we need healthcare and all sort of other stuff. We don't actually need a stadium. Don't want one.
We've got enough healthcare.
We've got
heaps of healthcare. No, I'm sort of joking, but I just feel like healthcare is a bottomless pit.
That's what he says. That's what he says in the show, yeah.
Really? Oh.
Well, in a different show. They've got this $100 billion spend that they have to do over, the forward estimates. And he's like, what about healthcare?
The future fund.
He's like, what about healthcare? He's like, no, healthcare's a bottomless pit. You don't want to spend money on helping the sick. I mean, what's in it for you? Kind of thing. He goes, it's a funny one, health. But
I had no idea you said that, but I agree.
Tassie Devils, that's the other thing. I said it to somebody else, and they immediately went to the Warner Brothers thing. The Tasmanian Devils will have something to say about that. The Looney Tunes.
Oh.
I thought, no, they have a problem because they took, like, they don't own the Tasmanian Devils.
Maybe they could be the thylacines.
Well, you were looking at other names. So, yeah, maybe the thylacines, something like that. But no, I think bugger them. I think Tasmanian Devils, if they're going down that path, go for it.
I think that would actually, you know, sometimes you want a bit of controversy. It gets the name out there, gets people talking about it. It could bring AFL to Hollywood because they go, oh, there's this place in Australia, there's a lawsuit. Hollywood's suing this small place in Australia, and everyone will be like, well, there's an island of Australia. You know, like all of a sudden they know that there's like more to Australia than mainland Australia.
It turns out that one of the islands in Australia is named after the Looney Tunes character. That's really weird. I bet you can't do Tasmanian Tigers because we've already got them. We've already got the Richmond Tigers.
Yeah.
Which is the other obvious option. Apart from the joke names.
Yeah, I don't know when we're going to find out the name. Might be a while.
Oh, it's still 5 years off the whole thing, right? So I can put that in your calendar.
Do you reckon we'll be on the moon before? Do you reckon we'll have boots on the moon before we have a Tasmanian team?
I'm going to lock it in now. I think the Tasmanian team's probably going to come first.
I'm going to go with boots on the moon.
Let's go. I'm glad that we've got this.
Yeah. Do you want to bet $100?
I like your optimism. Yeah, let's put 100 on.
$100. All right. Remind me.
Well, this is on the record, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's the first bet we've made, actually. Remember, you know, if you have any problems with gambling, to visit the gambling bloody, you know, helpline or something.
Yeah, there's a good chance you'll lose. One of us is going to lose. So, and you went straight for the 100. Is that like a bet you usually make amongst friends? Is it usually $100 flat? Is that normal for you?
Look, it's an arbitrary amount that I think feels like it's significant.
Over 5 years, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
If we have to wait 5 years for the outcome, I don't mind forking out the $100.
$20 a year.
It's all right. It's easy.
The Whitecoats got one more thing that they've been up to.
Oh, shit.
That I just want to mention.
Good. Yeah. What are they doing?
Another study.
Okay.
Showing stool transplantation. So it's a study that shows stool transplantation has proven to be a more effective method of treating Clostridiosis difficile infection. Excellent. As compared to standard antibiotic treatment. Okay, so that sounds very specific.
Sounds pretty simple. Stool that means you're taking your poo out and you're putting it in someone else, right? I get that.
Yeah.
What's the next bit?
Something like that. It's apparently it's more effective at treating this thing called Clostridiosis.
And we need this.
Well, I didn't know what that was, and I don't really care what that disease is because I've never heard of it.
Right.
But it was something that was said in this article that really got me thinking, right? So they said, and I quote, transplanting healthy donor stool into a gut with dysbiosis, and I quickly Googled what dysbiosis was, and that's just a very general thing. Imbalance in the gut microbial community that is associated with disease. So very general. So transplanting healthy donor stool into a gut with dysbiosis is intended to balance the gut microbes and reestablish a healthy microbiome, thus significantly reducing the risk of C. diff recurring. Stool donation operates much the same way as blood donation. Donors are screened for diseases and infections before they can donate their stool. The stool can be transplanted by colonoscopy.
Yep, going the other way.
Nasogastric.
Put it up your nose.
Guess so. Or what about this? Nasoduodenal tube.
Chuck it in both.
Enema or via a capsule.
I'll take all 6.
So
just fill me up with shit.
What I was fascinated because I thought, look, transplanting stool with because dysbiosis. Now we're not talking about just Clostridioides, C. diff. Now we're not worried about C. diff anymore. Right. We're just talking more generally.
Right, about healthy gut.
About
being healthy.
Everyone's going on. No one can eat anything anymore. Have you noticed this? Everyone's got gut dysbiosis.
Have we? We've all got
it. Everyone seems to have a problem with, they can't eat gluten, they can't eat, peanuts, all this stuff, right? There's all this stuff going on.
Right.
All we need is we just need to screen everyone. I might be a really good poo donor. I don't know. Still, I think I should get screened.
I'd try some of yours, to be honest. I don't know if if you're offering.
I reckon my microbiome's popping off. I don't get sick.
Okay.
I feel energetic.
I think take a shit, right? Put it in a bag and take it down to the lab and show the white coats and go, what do you fucking think of this shit?
Well, what I was thinking is I could just make my own capsules, sell them on the black market.
Right. Healthy poo.
Dry out a nug. Yeah. Nasogeodenal tube.
It's worth more than gold. It's worth more than tulips.
It might be. I don't know. I'm thinking I might just go into production.
Then you've got the rich people, the really rich people who buy it, but they don't even use it properly. They don't put it up their bum or they don't put it in their nasal, whatever. They just like smear it on their face because they're that affluent that they don't even need to use it for the intended purpose. They buy a little bit here and there to put up the bum. But there's nothing quite like, lighting a cigar with a burning bill. Like that's just the way it goes sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think I'm surprised that we aren't all on some kind of like poo pill of some sort because
I think we should just start sharing with each other. That would be a good start because you made a point that they're only offering this to people who have this or not offering, but like, it can be used to treat this and this, but you've sort of seen the more general benefit of it, the more open, the wider scope. Everyone can benefit from this. So let's just start sharing.
We should at least
no more
try.
Flashing. Flashing. Don't
otherwise, we're flushing
Test
perfectly good medicine. Perfectly good medicine down the toilet. Literally down the toilet.
Literally.
And so
poo's become less scary now. It's something I actually, I want now.
Yeah, a bit more poo in your life. Yeah. But one thing that has confirmed that just finish up. I know we're nearly at the end of our tether with this one and the end of the episode, but I am a little concerned about selling my dried poo on the black market because I haven't seen a lot of other people's shit.
Right. So you don't, but you know what it looks like.
Not really. Like,
what are you worried about? Presentation? What are you worried about? Sending them something and then they write in the comments, dude, this shit was awful.
Well, I'm only exposed to my poo, so I think they're quite normal.
It's a secret business. It's done in a secret room in the house. You lock the door. It's one of the only. It's one of the few doors in the house that has a lock on it.
Very funny about people seeing my poo. Well, I don't really mind, but I've been told not to show anyone.
Don't show anyone. If no one's told you this yet, better if you're going around showing people your poo, stop it.
Every time I poo, I lock a door. Don't let anyone see what's going on.
You get a cheeky look at it.
Yeah, I have a cheeky look. I see my poo all the time. I don't see anyone else's poo.
Yeah.
So, what my point is do you ever feel like your accent's kind of neutral and everyone else is weird?
No, but you pointed that out before that you felt that you were normal. That's how you classed your voice.
Yeah,
normal,
and it's not true.
Which
it's
is
just
hilarious.
It's because
you have an Australian accent.
Yeah, and there is no neutral accent. I think I have a neutral poo.
Oh, you do?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen any other poos to know. I think I have a neutral poo because that's all I see. I'm exposed to it every day. And so I think my poo's very regular. But what happens
when you start selling it on the market?
Yeah, everyone's like, "What is?"
Start going, dude, this is weird.
This is weird. What are all these bits in it?
Right.
What's all this blood in your poo, mate?
Oh, Jesus. Well, if you've got blood in your poo, you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, but anyway, I just think it's a bit like the accent.
It's a good health kick. I didn't know that was an option. I thought that would be pretty useless, putting waste inside your body. I would have thought that would be sort of you put it in the body and the body's go, all right, thanks. I guess I'll shit this out now. Thanks. Cheers for that. Maybe it's just to give the bad pooer. Maybe it's just to give the bad pooer a good time when they go into the toilet next and they drop it down. They go, fuck, that looks all right. That looks pretty good to me. Much better than the regular shit. I like this. I'm going to keep subscribing. Almost certainly what's going to happen.
Well, That's the white coats for you. The white coat update.
Yep. Fucking around.
Put a fork in me. I need to go do a shit.
Is it that time?
You pull out some medicine.
Got to get working.
It's like people that make pills out of their placenta after their afterbirth and placenta.
Oh, is that a thing, is it?
Yeah, they make pills. They make smoothies, drink it all down. It's absolutely filthy.
Well, you're being serious.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, people do this.
Right,
they make pills and continue, and they have apparently you lose a lot of nutrients.
You said smoothies.
Oh, also smoothies. I think I don't know about smoothie. Okay, I don't know about smoothies. Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right. I think are we over our scheduled time here?
No, it's an hour 20, but we can. Are we
only an hour 20?
Oh yeah.
Mine says I can see the wrong screen up, so I didn't realize we were on an hour 20. I thought we were on an hour 34. Sorry, we're still going. Though I've got some more white coat stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because there was something else they did, but I didn't want to bring it up.
Well, you wanted to save it for next week.
I don't know. I thought we're wrapping it up. We still got 9 minutes. Sorry. They did something again. They did brain surgery on a baby that was in the womb.
What the fuck? Are you going to bring? You talked about the poo first, the poo transplant first, and now it's the baby brain surgery inside the womb.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a first of a kind. This is a first of a kind procedure.
Okay, having to fiddle around.
Well, this baby had a potentially life-threatening illness called a Galen malformation.
Yeah, you don't often operate on a baby inside a womb just for fun. It's a good point.
So, first of a kind fetal procedure to fix a potentially deadly vascular malformation in the brain. And they avoided heart failure and brain injury after birth. Apparently the baby's fine.
Great.
Showing no issues at all. How do you perform brain surgery on a baby in the womb? Are you absolutely kidding me? Right?
I would have to assume that once they're in the head, it's pretty easy what they're doing, right? It's got to be. Otherwise, they can't do it.
But that's like operating on a mystery inside a riddle in an enigma. You know, like there's multiple barriers of entry to get into the baby's head.
Mm.
Like, do you have
What are they doing?
What are they doing? I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah, and they did it, I guess, and the baby's all right. So I guess this potentially life-threatening thing became a non-life-threatening thing, which is amazing, obviously.
Yeah, the surgeon was using ultrasound as guidance.
Oh, God.
Sounds so stressful. Stressful for the baby, right? But the baby's got no idea of even life outside the womb. What
Depends
about the
on what
doctor? Yeah. It must be
how would you know if you had trauma from back then? You wouldn't know if you had trauma from the womb. I wouldn't know. How would I know?
No, but at least they don't know a world outside the womb. They only know that sort of warm. It would be concerning going from a warm bathtub to the first time you feel that. You know when you get out of a shower and it feels cold? That's awful. That's what happens when you're born. The first time you ever feel that cold, awful feeling.
What a way to come into the world. I'm freezing. No wonder they don't want to get out. I mean, if you told me, if the hot shower analogy is perfect. It's a winter's morning, it's a hot shower, you're in the hot shower, you've been in for 3 minutes too long already, but you know that the second you turn that off, then you're going to be freezing cold. And you talked about this many episodes ago, maybe I want to say 25 episodes ago, about how you have cold showers and the bit where the water goes off and you're in room temperature air again feels insanely warm, right? You get the opposite effect. So you suffer your trauma during the cold shower bit, and I suffer my trauma after the hot shower when it becomes cold again.
You should try shifting your trauma.
I've tried it. Definitely tried it. There was also a period where I had no hot water because I was living in my house for a year and I hadn't paid a gas bill because I hadn't got one. I didn't think, but I thought I was paying all my bills. And then anyway, I got a call one day. Hey, I turned on my shower and it was just cold. And I went, who's my gas provider? And that's when I found out that I had a gas bill.
How long had it been outstanding?
Well, I've been living there for a year at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
they were totally cool about it, obviously, and it's all sorted. But
don't they try and contact you at some point? They're just giving away free gas for like a year.
They're not giving away free gas. I think they would have probably tried to charge somebody, but no. And so yes, for that week or so, for those few days, because I wouldn't have sorted it out on day one. I just would have had a cold shower, went to work, and then sorted it out. And I'll deal with that.
Then you didn't sort it out, right?
I probably would have gone, that was all right.
How many cold showers do you reckon you had to sustain before you were like, all right, yeah?
I reckon I had 5 cold showers.
I'm not putting up with this a 6th time.
No, I had a gutful. That's how much I value comfort. So
it's very comfortable. It's very comfortable afterwards. That's the thing.
Yeah. No, I like my trauma where it's at. One where I can delay it. So you'd be having fast showers to get in there, get done, get in, get out.
Well, I start with a hot shower.
I'm loving it in the moment. When it's just the hot water and me, I'm loving it.
You just get stuck in there.
Time.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time.
Steamy.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
So I start with a hot shower.
Oh, then you turn it off.
Yeah. And what I do...
That's a better way to do it, actually.
No negotiation.
Yeah.
Don't have a conversation with yourself about it. Halfway through, I've got an electric toothbrush. It goes for 2 minutes.
Right.
I estimate approximately halfway through that process, I jam the cold up a bit more, just make sure the flow is good because you don't want dribbling out. And then I jam the hot off, and I just deal with it. And then I pop out of the stream, lather myself up with some soap. And then I pop back in, and I get it all off, rinse it off as quickly as possible. The whole process takes me about 2 minutes, so about an hour of finishing off, a minute of finishing off my teeth, and then a minute of lathering and delathering, and then I'm out. And after that, you feel incredible. And actually, after the 2 minutes of cold shower, you're not in a rush to get out. It's weird. Feels quite nice.
Oh, God.
And it's better as you get into winter.
Oh, my God.
Because it actually starts getting cold.
Oh, I'm not into it. I'm into it in summer. No, don't get me wrong. I'll have a cold shower in summer.
Yeah, everyone. It's not even cold at that point. Oh, it's good. I do it in the morning now. I don't do it at night because apparently when you cool your body, when you have cold water exposure or just cold exposure, your body realizes it needs to start heating up because it's smart. And so internally it starts doing whatever it does to generate heat. And heat wakes you up. It's important in your circadian rhythm. As you wake up in the morning, you naturally are very cold when you start, and your body will start naturally heating up and you're more awake, etc. So it makes sense to do the cold shower in the morning because it stimulates your body to heat up and wake up. Now at night,
hot water do that as well?
It has the opposite effect. Hot water
has the opposite effect.
Yes. So your body is triggered to cool down because it's hot. So it starts. So that's why you have a hot shower before you go to bed. It creates a drop in body temperature, and to sleep, your body temperature needs to drop slightly. Loving hand. Wife's home. So now I don't have a cold shower when I go to bed because apparently you're sending mixed signals to your body. You're telling it to wake up.
Oh, well.
And your body starts heating up instead of cooling down. So you have a hot shower in the evening, cold shower in the morning.
All right, write that down, everybody. And yeah, write that down. It's homework for next week. Everyone do that at least once.
Please do it.
All right. And thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. Nate, 50 episodes.
Oh, it's been incredible.
Holy shit.
Can't wait for 100.
Yeah, the big 1-0-0. That's when we proper raise the bat. Maybe a high five in the middle of the pitch.
And for everyone that's made it this far, brace yourself for some fireworks. Because you've got some fireworks, yeah?
Yeah. Here they are. Hey.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah, we did it.
And everyone gets a Barbie Jeep. If you email me your address, I'll send you a Barbie Jeep.
Wow. We'll see how long that offer lasts. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
See you, mate.